Well, hello, literature fans, noir fans, fans of artificial intelligence. I asked ChatGPT to write a 1,500 word piece of detective fiction in which a beautiful woman hires a private eye to find her missing husband, who was last seen in a seedy lap dancing bar in the company of three young dancers, a corrupt city council member, a suspected mafia boss, and a developer who wants to knock down a heritage-listed theatre to build an office complex. Yeah, so those concepts are just pulled totally from random, nothing to do with my particular interests in anything much. And here, accompanied by some occasionally quite random pictures of courtesy of another AI piece of software, is that story as read, sadly, by me. Stephen Fry was not available on this occasion, but if you're out there, Stephen, very happy for you to do an overdub. Okay, here it is. Please enjoy.
Shadows of Deceit. The neon lights flickered as Detective Max Malone walked down the dimly lit alley. His fedora pulled low over his eyes to shield him from the dark underbelly of the city. His office had seen better days, just like him. But when a beautiful woman walked into his life with a face that smelled of mystery, he couldn't resist being drawn back into the world of shadows and deceit. Her name was Veronica Munro, a stunning woman with emerald eyes and a face that could launch 1,000 ships. She entered his office like a breath of fresh air, her perfume filling the room as she sauntered in with the grace of a cat. Max couldn't help but be captivated by her, though he knew better than to trust appearances in his line of work. "Mr. Malone, I'm in dire need of your services," Veronica purred, her voice dripping with desperation. Max nodded, gesturing for her to take a seat. "Tell me what brings a woman like you to my humble abode," he says. "It's my husband, William," she began. "He's disappeared, and I fear the worst. The last I heard from him, he was at a seedy lap dancing bar called the Velvet Vixen, in the company of three young dancers." Max raised his eyebrow. "Three young dancers, huh? Sounds like he was enjoying himself." Veronica's eyes brimmed with tears. "I can't believe he'd betray me like this. I just need to know he's safe." Max scribbled some notes in his notepad. "Don't worry, Mrs. Munro. I'll find your husband, and I'll get to the bottom of this." As Max delved into the investigation, he realized that this was more than just a simple missing person case. It seemed like everyone connected to William had a dark secret to hide. First, he visited the Velvet Vixen, a den of vice and indulgence. The manager, a sleazy man named Eddie, claimed William had left with the three dancers, but refused to reveal their identities. Something didn't add up, and Max couldn't shake the feeling that Eddie was hiding more than he had. His next lead came from an anonymous tip that led him to a hidden room within the city council building. There he witnessed a clandestine meeting between a corrupt city council member, Harold Crane, and a suspected mafia boss, Don Marco Rossi. They exchanged hushed words in a briefcase filled with cash, leaving Max to wonder what secretly lay within the folds of their sinister alliance. As Max dug deeper, he discovered that William Munro was a key figure in the fight against the developer Robert Carrington, who sought to demolish a heritage-listed theatre to make way for an office complex. The theatre was more than just bricks and mortar. It held decades of memories and was a symbol of the city's history. Max couldn't ignore the intertwining threats of corruption and greed. He felt like a fly caught in a web of deception spun by the city's powerful players. Determined to unravel the mystery, he started visiting the theatre, seeking any clues that might lead him to William's whereabouts. His investigation took him into the heart of the theatre's underground tunnels, where he stumbled upon something that sent chills down his spine. The hidden room contained a collection of files, documents and photographs that tied together the city council member, the suspected mafia boss, and the unscrupulous developer. It was evident that they were all involved in a grand scheme to control the city's future, and William Munro was a threat to their plans. With this newfound information, Max confronted Veronica. Your husband was no innocent bystander in all of this. He had evidence that could bring down these crooks, and that's why they made him vanish. Veronica's face turned pale. I had no idea that he was involved in anything like this. Max gave her a reassuring pat on the shoulder. People aren't always who they seem to be. It doesn't mean we won't find them. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, Max's path led him back to the Velvet Vixen. He knew that getting the truth out of Eddie might be the key to solving the case. In the dimly lit club, Max confronted the manager, who, under pressure, finally revealed the identities of the three dancers William was seen with that fateful night. Max tracked down the dancers and learned that they were unwittingly involved in the corrupt dealings, unaware of the bigger picture. They provided valuable information that led him to William's hidden location, a secluded cabin in the woods. There, Max found William battered and bruised, but alive. It turned out that he had discovered the developers' plans and had tried to confront them, but they captured and held him captive to protect their interests. Max managed to get William to safety, promising to keep him hidden until the evidence could be brought to light. As the dawn broke, Max made his move. He gathered the evidence and assembled the city's press, exposing the corrupt city council member, the suspected mafia boss, and the developer in a web of lies and deceit. The media frenzy put them on the defensive, and the truth began to spread like wildfire. The public was outraged by the level of corruption that had infiltrated their city. Protests erupted, demanding justice for the Heritage Theatre and transparency from their leaders. The pressure became too much for the corrupt individuals, and one by one they fell from grace, facing the consequences of their actions. In the aftermath, the city slowly started to heal. The Heritage Theatre was saved, and the developer's office complex never saw the light of day. Max returned William to his wife, who was relieved to have him back, even though she had to confront the reality of her husband's involvement in the city's darker affairs. With the case closed and justice served, Max Malone retreated into the shadows once more, leaving the city to rebuild itself. Some might argue that the world was a little less corrupt, thanks to a private eye who dared to shine a light in the shadows of deceit. But Max knew that in a city like this, darkness would always find a way to creep back in, and he'd be there, ready to face it.
there you had it. Did that have you on the edge of your seat? Maybe not. A little bit clunky in places, but I can see that the AI has sort of got a handle on some of the language and some of the conceits of detective noir, but it needs a bit of work, as of course it does the vocal aspect to it. But I'm not well at the moment, and I'm yeah. Anyway, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please, there are other videos around here for you to watch. They're all different because that's the way I roll. Thank you for your time, and while I won't be seeing you because the technology doesn't work that way, I hope you'll be seeing me again very soon.